All right, the book I've got for review today, one I just finished actually, is Good Game, No Rematch by Mike Drucker. I don't have the cover jacket on this one, otherwise I would show it. I hate when they don't give me the cover jackets. Anyways, the book is the subtitle of it is A Life Made of Video Games, and to be honest with you, that's what attracted me to it. So video games, especially old video games, Nintendo games are nostalgic to me as someone who grew up playing a lot of those older games before this new era of games where it's all craziness and DLCs and added payable content and massive online play, right? Like I miss the old games, right? I miss the Marios of the world and Zelda and things like that. And so that's what attracted me to read this book. I had been checking out another book that had just come out recently called Super Nintendo that I planned to read, and I saw this one was related to it, so I figured that I would check it out. So the story, the book is Mike Drucker is someone who's been, I think most recently is a writer, like a joke writer for like the late night TV. I think he worked on like Jimmy Fallon, Full Frontal, the Samantha Bee Show, probably several others. But he grew up. He worked on SNL at one point. He worked for Nintendo. He worked for IGN. So kind of a lot of adjacent industries to video games, including in the video game industry. And so it's his story of growing up, right? It's a life made of video games. That's kind of his story. And so he walks you through essentially his whole life and how it intertwined with video games, all the way to the point where I think his first wedding that he had, or maybe his only wedding, because he is divorced, he talks a lot about that in this book, it was like a Mario themed wedding. So he's definitely a nerd in that sense. He's someone who is super into video games throughout his whole life. So a couple of things for me on this book. I got to be honest, I was disappointed. It didn't land for me. What I was wanting and hoping is that it would be more about the games and less about him. He's not a big enough name to me to want a memoir of him. Unfortunately, apologize, Mike, for that, but you're just not. And so I wanted it to be more about the video games. I wanted it to be more stories about how cool the first Zelda game was, or when Mario first came out for Nintendo 64. Like these kinds of things were groundbreaking at the time. I mean, Ocarina of Time, when you could ride Epona around, was those were things that just when you first were playing video games on the original Nintendos and Ataris were not, it was amazing at the time. And so that's what I was thinking this would be, is it would be like kind of the nostalgia of those super cool video games from a time past. Mega Man is one that he talks about that I wish that he kind of spent more time on. I was really hoping and thinking that it would be like the backstory behind some of these games, because he has friends in the industry. Like, hey, maybe the story of how Mega Man was created, or what made Mega Man X such a kind of a change of the franchise. Final Fantasy, another just like epic game from back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I just thought that it would be more of that. And for me, unfortunately, it was more just kind of his life, but how he played video games throughout his life. And he's very self-deprecating in the book and kind of making fun of himself and judging himself. And that's all fine and great. And he's funny at times, but it's more about him. And whatever, it's his book. He can do whatever he wants. But this is one of the challenges I have with books, is when they're kind of marketed in a way that's not what they deliver. And that's what I felt like this book did. Is I think it had a huge opportunity to be more about the games. I think of like so many cool games. The one that comes to mind that I used to always play on arcades was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. I thought that game, I loved that game. My brothers and I used to play that game. And so I just would have loved more of the stories. Like, how did the Yoshi character first come about? I'm sure there's other games that I'm not thinking of that people can. Here's another one that I remember playing with my brothers growing up. It was a short-lived TV series that I thought there's kind of like a cult following of it, called Biker Mice from Mars. We loved that video game, And I would have thought that that would have kind of been more of the focus of this book, and just unfortunately not. So it ends up being more of like a biography and his story of going through life while playing video games. Felt like that was a miss. So that's my thoughts on this book. A short one here today. Unfortunately didn't land for me. So that's Good Game, No Rematch by Mike Drucker. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.